Hey you guys, you catch me spinning my chestnut around. I've got an over the board game later on, and so I'm going to practice getting my eye in the old 3D, and as you can see, it's playing on the phone. Oh, I can now watch the game. Excuse me, I should have done this to start with. Okay, here's the game. Hunty Wreck has the black pieces, so let's move these. My opponent is rated, I don't know what my opponent is rated. Okay, the Indian game Tata Cow attack. I think d5 looks very sensible here. I'm imagining the bishop's going to fianchetto. There we go. Off he goes. Jadoub. Sounds like it comes off Dune, doesn't it? Muad'Dib. Okay, so we've got this kind of closed D file. My own light squared bishop could have issues. I think D7 makes sense. F5 maybe. I think I might want to push. Okay, let's put it on F5. And I'm thinking I might here want to put the queen behind it and kind of double it. Interestingly, on the screen it's actually giving me a live eval. So I think we should probably switch that off, don't you? Because I don't want it to put me off. Because it's bound to swing up backwards and forwards. Right. So I think obviously there's E6 here. E6 unleashes the final bishop. Pawn on d4 is defended. I think e6 is fine. Got to be a bit careful sliding pawns on the chestnut because it will detect the first square it goes to. So if you try and slide a pawn 2 squares, it will register the first square, and then if you try and put it back, it will object. Okay, so it's all kind of normal. My opponent has a dark squared pawn construction around his king. Like a kind of King's Indian attack thing going on here. I still don't know what his rating is. Doesn't say. Hang on. 1504 rapid. Okay. Alright. So, how are we doing? I'm on 13 minutes. That's fine. Dark squared bishop doesn't have c5. Can't go anywhere around the king. I might just stick it on E7? E7 for now, just try and discourage any dark squared bishop pin ideas. Right, it's coming after my bishop. I can go to E4. I think though, I'm just going to drop back. So if he wants to capture, then I can recapture the H pawn. We'll open up the file. Okay, there we go. He takes. Right, I take back. Okay, we have a nice imbalanced position. He's moved his rook to e1. Clearly, I would love to get my queen in now to the h file. I probably want a long castle, or not castle at all. So I need to think of a kind of. I mean, look, if I play knight g4 now, I'm clearly attacking h2. Now he's going to push the pawn, isn't he? If he pushes to h4, I could even think about sacking the bishop. Let's see what happens. Okay, h3, there we go. So there's no sack option, but now that pawn is now only defended by the bishop itself. So I'm going to bring my knight back now. It might then come back into e4. I have no light squared bishop though for this attack. So what do we think? Knight. Okay, he's brought his knight out to d2. Doesn't have wonderful prospects there. Have I got like queen d7, e5? Not really. What if I push g5, g4? He just pushes on. We end up with locked up. That's going to suit him. All right, let's play knight c6, attacking this loose pawn. Maybe queen d7. Okay, defense. Maybe queen d7. Maybe queen d6. Knight h5 takes. Queen takes. I'm in then. Yes. Queen d6. Oh no! I slid it, didn't I? So it's taken it to d7. And now we have a very quick e4 break in the middle. Right, does he want to push and lock off? I think he probably does. I think that definitely suits his objectives. I can't let him do that, so I'm going to trade. Now, at least over the board, I know that I can slide. If I trade knights, his rook comes out. Does that suit our purposes? I think I'd rather let him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to long castle. That then effectively pins his d-pawn, yeah? Because if his d-pawn comes off the d-file, I take the queen, rook takes rook. He's lost the rook. So I'm playing it down at Wood Seats again tonight. Last time I played there, I got drawn into playing a very quick game. Far too quick, really. And my opponent played the Franco-Sicilian defense, so like I was white, so e4, e6, and d4, c5, which kind of threw me off a bit. So if I take knight, he could intermezzo trade the dark squared bishops. I have knight d5 as well. It feels like it's slightly coming away from the action. Knight d5, rook takes. I have queen d5, which is a fork. Rook h5, I think. I'm not too concerned about my dark squared bishop though. It's not a very good piece. I mean, he's got this big dark squared formation on the queen side, but I don't know. Still have ideas of. See, I can't move that bishop away. I'm worried about him capturing with like bishop takes knight, gf, knight takes f6, hitting my queen. I don't really want to invite the knight in. So materials we got. I think we're going to trade off. Bishop takes bishop. Okay. So material is equal. His bishop hangs, my knight hangs. However, there could be an intermezzo here. For example, knight takes c3 hits his queen. Pawn takes, I win the bishop back, I've won myself a pawn. Or knight takes f2 hits his queen. And the only piece that we can recapture is the king. And he can't up the ante on that one, you see. That's the problem for him. So what do? Move your queen? If you move your queen, I've got knight takes h3 check. So there we go. King takes. But now, and right now I'm down a piece for a pawn, but I get to recover the bishop. Now the question is, do I want to take it with the queen? Or do I want to take it with a knight? I think knight and then knight to f5 is that looks good to me. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so we're a pawn up. This is not bad. I'm having a look at the screen now as well. This is great. I've got it 3 times. I've got it in 3D, I've got it on my phone, and we've got your guys' view on the screen. So we have queen b3. Alright, so he's eyeing down at h7. This is not to our liking, precious. I have knight d5. Knight d5 blocks the bishop. But can get kicked out of the way, for example with c4. Knight d5 or even knight c6. If bishop takes knight c6, again the pawn can come in and kick. Knight d5, c4. I can bring my knight back to b6. Knight He can come in again, but then I can go back there. Okay, I think that seems alright. It's lovely, you know. I don't know what it is about touching the pieces. It just feels a lot more chessy. Okay, he's a pawn down. I really don't think he wants to get his bishop out of there, particularly if he trades. If he takes the knight, e takes, and then I'm threatening to come in on h3 with my queen. It's not great. So let me just check this. Link a new tab. Check his profile. He's lost his last 2 games. Rapid, he's 1504. Highest rating 1598. And he's played less than 500 games. With a kind of 50-50 win rate. Yeah. So, yeah, he's been jumping around a bit. Okay, and now he's having to think. He's used a lot less time than I have. Right, in comes the rook. Very interesting. So my knee-jerk reaction here is f6. Kicking the rook. That will force the rook back. Rook takes, pawn takes, don't believe it. f6. f6 looks good. Okay, I have rook h5 with a similar idea. If he trades rooks, I repair my pawns, but actually I think that that open file kind of suits me. I think f6 is it's hard to refute. It's really cute. It still makes me giggle. You know, you make the move and you see it instantly on the board and on the phone. Kind of like these 4 pawns down in this corner as well. Okay. Right then. Reasonable amount of time on the board. I just feel like something like f5. But if so, the rook could find its way back in. g5, g4, he pushes. I feel like somehow what I want to do is I want to cramp his bishop. If I can disable that bishop, I'm happy. f5, f4. He pushes g4. e5 takes, doesn't work. g5, f5, f4. I just don't know. I'm going to push f5. I don't know if it's right. I could also put a rook behind it. Could play like rook df8. Okay, he's doubled up. He's doubled up on there. I think rook d e8 now. Yes. He's still got 15 minutes, this dude. Okay. Now my knight actually has ideas. Knight f6, knight e4, check. He may trade off. He could win a pawn back though doing that. I know, I'm feeling like g5, f4. Okay. I think that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Knight f6. Very well played. Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, that was good. That was good. I fancy another one of those. I rather enjoyed that. So Go online again, chess.com again. 1510. Yeah. Yes. Oh, sorry. It's it didn't finish the game because I didn't make the move on the board. All right. Fair enough. All right. Interesting. Let's do it again. Right. I need to put all the bits back first. It's lit up like a Christmas tree here because everything's on the wrong squares, so it's telling me what I've got to do. Okay. Don't know if I'm going to get white or black, but this is all about just getting one's eye in. So that's good. Game aborted. Okay. Sorry, I was too slow. Okay, new 1510. Let's do it. This is great fun. So I've been chessing very badly today anyway. But I have been enjoying myself. Okay. Right, we have the white pieces. Okay, so Ben Hunt 72. Let's go back and watch him. Okay, we're going Scotch. We are going Goering Gambit if we get the chance. What's this guy? Johnny PM 1491. What am I? I don't know. Huh. Okay, so knight comes out. We go d4, the Scotch game. We have takes. And we push c3. Obviously, my game this evening is going to be 75 minutes, so I'm going to have an hour and a quarter to play on my moves. Hopefully, my vision will be a little bit sharper. But this, I'm hoping, will help me get my eye in a little bit. He's having to think about that now. Okay, he takes the second pawn, and we're going to play bishop c4. The double pawn sacrifice variation. What are you going to do? Also, it's a little bit dim here. Be nice to be more brightly lit. Okay. Bishop b4. Well, bc comes with tempo, yeah? So I've won a pawn back. I'm one pawn down right now. He's going to have to move his bishop out of the way. It's a very, very different experience, you know, looking at it in 2D. Really is. I'm just going to rearrange my pawn slightly. I'm terrible for this. My opponent has a pawn that's not in the center of the square. Man, it winds me up. Okay, now I'm thinking there's an obvious tactic here. Queen d5 threatens mate and the bishop. Doesn't it? And this is one of the problems. Obviously, he never took the third pawn, so I don't have my bishop on b2 looking down at g7, which you've always got, again, got to watch out for is black. In the Goering. Hello, Sasha. You happy? You like your new house? Okay. Yeah, just sorry, Johnny PM. It's not looking fantastic, is it? Okay, yeah. Well done. Queen e7. Queen e7, but okay. So drawing on the screen now. What about that now? Sorry. Yes, I know. I'll make the move. Blimey. Okay. So bishop g5. He could push f6. He could play knight f6. It doesn't really go a long way to help my cause. Castles kind of makes sense. Now he's already kind of wasted a move, moving his bishop twice. Castles looks good. What if his knight comes out to f6? Okay, bishop g5, knight f6, it's pinning itself. Bishop g5, pawn to f6. is definitely weakening. Defended by my knight. La la la. Okay, queen stacking e4 is defended by my queen only. I would like to castle. I'm probably playing like bd2. Yeah, I'm probably playing like bd2. What are you going to do, Johnny PM? Pawn, see? And right, yes, it scores a tempo on me. But now I like just, bishop f4. I'm now targeting the c7 pawn. What's he going to do? He's going to push d6, right? But that king ain't castling short, is it? Anytime, because he's got queen right up in his face. But d6 enables bishop e6. But bishop e6, no, I take. I just take. He loses the bishop. So that's not even on. So I think d6 castles. Yeah, there we go, d6. So let's check. Bishop there doesn't work. It just loses a piece outright. I mean, another idea is bishop b5. Try and take the knight. B takes, queen takes, and win. No, bishop b5. Is that bad? I mean, the knight's pinned. You can't kick the bishop. He'll play bishop d7. That's all he'll do. Okay, let's castle. This is definitely a dynamic position. I'm still a pawn down. And the nice thing is, I can see that very clearly. You don't have to kind of look up in the corner at these tiny little icons. Right, what are the threats? I'm liking my dynamic level of development. I think my opponent is likely to try and long castle, so I'm imagining bishop d7 would be a very likely move here. Bishop g4 would be more aggressive. I don't really mind bishop g4. I was just thinking that maybe knight d4 now. Knight d4, try and trade off the knights, add pressure into the middle of the board. I mean, even, knight d4. Yeah, looks great. You have to be a little bit careful about getting my queen trapped, but again, bishop e6 isn't playable, because it loses a piece. And now black is just looking in a proper arm lock. There we go. Okay, so knight takes knight. Now, I'm thinking pawn takes comes with tempo on the bishop, connects my two pawns in the centre. Yeah. And gets rid of an isolated pawn. It's got to be good, eh? You can see it so much clearer in 2D. But it's a different game. I might have queen h5. The question is, am I worried here about c6? No. I might be, actually. That might be a real problem. c6 trapping my queen. Right, I can't take d6. I can't go to e6. Will he spot it? That's the question. Did not think this through. Did he think it through? I have no idea. Do I have any handy checks? I have bishop b5. Pinning the pawn. It can't take my queen. If he takes the pawn, I can capture on b7, hitting the rook. and then it's farewell to any queenside castling. Okay, back comes the bishop. That's the wrong move. We discussed this. You lose your bishop. Oh, now he's going to win my rook. Ah, what? That was a flurry. Okay, what's going on here? Knight, knight, queen, queen. Okay. Is he gonna win my rook? Bollocks. He is, isn't he? Okay. However, he's gonna have no bishops, and I'm gonna have the bishop pair. So he'll be slightly ahead. I'm imagining I've got to play knight d2 now. And his king's stuck in the middle of the board. Knight d2, he's going to take. I recapture. Yeah. Okay. So, I've lost a rook and 2 pawns. He's lost both of his bishops. That is the state of things. I can see them right here in proper atoms and everything. Okay, but I'm not going to let you castle. No way are you castling. Right? I only have the 1 rook, but I do have a knight. Question is, where does this knight want to be? Something that Simon Williams has said a lot before. If I could pick up my knight and put it anywhere on the board. So I'm thinking b3, d4, b5, long way to c7. But that is where I would like it. Even maybe c4 to e3. Go around that way. Because then I've got options of going to f5 as well. See, back to e3, and then I can go on to either the d5 light square or the f5 light square. Comes here. I think he's got fantasies about breaking the bishop pair. So I think I'll stick it back on g3. I mean, it's kind of inert there. Or is it e3? I wanted to put my knight on e3, so I'm going to put the bishop back on g3. King advances. Okay. Now bishop d5 would be met with c6, trapping. I can come all the way back to h3 if I want to. I can go back to g4, which is more flexible. I think I want my rook back on e1 now. Who's he money on at this point in time? Okay, he wants to trade. Okay, 2 options. I trade, he gets a pawn center, which ain't bad. And it's like a dark square pawn center. So my dark square bishop is then weaker. And then trading off pawns would be good for me because it'll open up the board, right? The alternative is drop. Oh, sorry, I know. Knocked it off by accident. I can drop my bishop back to e2. He takes, I take. He's got 2 separate pawn things. Don't know. I'm not letting him take off my light square bishop. Which is best? 11-11. Bishop back. Also notice I have 4 pieces aside from my king. Black has 3 pieces aside from his king. And it's a real sound when it goes click-clack there. It's not a synthesized sound. Okay, so rook b1, rook e1, rook b1 hits the pawn. He's gonna need to start pushing his pawns up. But my hope is that I can somehow take advantage of this space, particularly on my side of the board. He's going to try and shut the space down, I guess. Okay. Rook a d8. If I play rook b1, he's just going to push, right? I'll just push f3. Maybe just push f3, try and centralize the king. If we trade off one rook, and we end up with a one rook versus two bishops, I don't know, it feels like it should be good. Okay, here come the pawns. They're starting to creep up like weeping angels. Okay. Now, rook d1. If he pushes, takes, that's okay. Rook d1 I like. So I don't think he can push d5. Takes, I win a pawn. And that's going to be, I think, pretty decisive at this point. Got a weak pawn on a2. His big strength is the queen side. He's got 4 on 1 on the queen side. We cannot let him prevail. I've got 4 on 3 on the king side. He's lifted. Play king f2. Okay, he's double in. Okay, hd8. Now he can push. Now he's got more reinforcements. So if I was to push e5 now, what happens? He just takes and wins a pawn. Okay, I think the king just creeps up more, yeah? Okay, we have to trade off, I think. Trade. And then pawn takes. And he's got himself an isolated pawn, I think, there. Yeah, there you go. Pawn takes. I can hit his rook. That bishop b5. And maybe a4, but he has a6. Kicks my bishop away. I think I've just dropped back to b3. You think? Is he just going to shove that pawn down my throat? There we go. It's gone beep to let me know there's a check. King d3 seems very logical. He's got to be careful moving his f pawn as well. I think just that. Seems like the right piece to block the pawn with. Knights are very good. Now, and I do have a dark square bishop. So if I can get my rook on like c4 or e4 and then my bishop on f2, I think rook d2. I think I have to play rook d2. Oh. Well, I've only got 2 legal moves, king e4 or king e2. And I know you're not going to... You're going to push again? Yep. So he can't play like rook c2, can he? So I'm thinking, I don't know. King e3 or king f2? King e3, I may be lining myself up for... Sod it, king e3. If he wants to move his king and try and check me, I'll go to d4, embarrass his rook, maybe even win the pawn, I don't know. My bishops are looking quite evil though now, actually. In a way, they're really crisscrossing the board. And there may be some opportunities for pins or skewers. These rooks have got to watch their step. What I can't easily do is... attack that pawn with the bishop, because I can't play bishop c2 and I can't play bishop c4. I'd have to move it round the long way, which might actually work. Here I'm not worried about pawn f4. Pawn f4 I just take. So do I play bishop a4, bishop b5? He might play a6, but b4. Oh no, it hits a rook as well. Hits the rook, then bishop b5, and I might win the pawn back. Then he might play rook a3. How am I doing? 9 minutes. Heaps. Let's do it. Let's be annoying. See, I'm the one with now the 3 active pieces. And the bishops are all long range pieces. He's got 2 pieces, both long range. And then you've got to move your rook. b5 isn't playable. Got to move your rook. Got to be careful. Can't go to d6. Can't go to d8 because I play rook h4, skewering the king, so he comes out into the middle. All right. Now I can't go to b5. I can come back to b3 and kick your rook out again. He has no rook e5 check. Oh, it says I've been disconnected. Why have I been disconnected on there? Six o'clock. We're kicking off at 7:30, so I have a check on h4. Okay, rook goes all the way back there and walks into that. Pawn can't block. This is the skewers that we were talking about. When he couldn't go to d4, he couldn't be on d5. King moves across. Take the rook out. He takes the bishop out. I'm up a bishop for 2 pawns. And now I think simply it's rook takes d3. Should actually be winning, yes? That forces the rooks off the board. King takes. And now I'm up a bishop for a pawn. And now he resigns. Jamie is saying, after this game, look at a better move on move 27. Oh, and then he says it didn't work. Okay. Right, he's really got his work cut out, but he's gonna fight for it. So, endgame. What is the situation? Well, he's got a 1 pawn advantage on the queen side. King side is 3-on-3, but he has made better progress. My hunch is immediately king d4, taking long, distant opposition with my opponent's king. Feel like the queen side I'm all right. Okay, he's coming here. I'm going to take opposition again. I'm going to try and prevent. So I think he has to push f4, yeah, because the king can't defend the pawn. And also, my bishop is doing a good job here. So I'm thinking g3, we trade down. Okay, we have takes. Takes. Yeah, bishop for a pawn. This should be definitely winning. The key thing is that I've got to make sure I keep a pawn on the board. Okay, he's really going balls out now, isn't he? Okay, now, can I win the pawns? Okay, what do we do here? If I push g4, His pawns are going to end up on dark squares. That doesn't really help me. I feel like I want his pawns on light squares. Do I go after the queen side? What happens? If I attack this boy, like king f5, he's got h6, then I come in. That's too slow. And his king can't get in. So king f7 doesn't work. Pushing the pawn doesn't work. Pushing h6, I come into g6. I'm attacking both pawns. His king can't get in. I think I've just the fact that my king is slightly ahead of his king could swing it. Also, remember, his king can't step on f7 or g8 because of my bishop. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to take the pawn. Okay, he attacks the bishop. So what? Bishop d5. My pawn and my bishop can now handle this situation. If the king starts to encroach on the bishop, I can jump all the way to g8. King h6 is coming. If he pushes again, takes. Okay, king h6. I think this is resignable, I'm not sure. I probably have to push g4, but I only need one pawn to promote to a rook or a queen, and I'm away. I cannot checkmate with a king and a bishop, so I have to keep a pawn on the board. But as things stand, there we go, king comes in, I'm going to come here. As things stand, I will happily sacrifice my bishop to get rid of the second of the queenside pawns. In comes the king, too little too late. I like the fact you can also knock a piece off with your piece. Very clever. At some point he's going to have to push b3, and then I just take. There we go, takes. Now, okay, he pushes past, but if he ever goes to a2, I can now just push b4 with check anyway. Yeah, I think I've got to. Can't allow him to go to a2. Okay, he takes. And now my bishop's just got that. Okay, so I'm going to move my king in. He's bringing his king in. King f6. I'm going to put my bishop next to it so it's protected. He can't go to e4. I'll give up the f pawn, I don't care. Also, really good practice in the rhythm of the game, you know. Not rushing your moves. Maybe I could have saved both pawns there, but I don't need both pawns, I only need one. So I'm just all eyes on a2. That little light lights up on there to say his pawn's gone there. Take it out, headshot. Headshot, mate. Has he resigned? Jamie says, and the fans go wild. Go on, my son. No, it's my go. Oh, sorry, it says put your pawn back. Yeah. Clock's still counting down. What's going on? What's going on? Does that work? Okay. He goes there. So bishop takes. The promotion didn't work for some reason. King here. Okay, pawn there. It's not working. For some reason. Okay, I might have to switch to my phone. because for some reason the board is not promoting my pawn, and that's annoying. Okay, his king's moved down. Now I can do that. Okay, I've done that on the... Whew. Right, now I have a queen. Okay. Now, this is that key thing, isn't it? Queen g4 forces him back to g7. This is mate in 2. Oh, shit, sorry. King's on the wrong piece. On the wrong thing. Okay, so now we just shove the king down the board. He's got to go to h3. And he resigns. Whew! Well, you know, that one little technical glitch wouldn't not letting me promote my pawn. That's an interesting one. But other than that, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of limbered up a little bit for tonight. So I'm still 1500s rapid. Could be worse, could be better. But a reasonable game. Let's grab the PGN and see how we did. So I'm going to flip over to here, learn analysis board. I don't even need to do that. I can just go to my profile, can't I? So I got a loss there. My opponent played 83 accuracy on that one. Which is, yeah, that's what I'm aiming for tonight. Pretty solid. 7 missed wins, though. 7? 7? 7, not a blunder, but 7 misses. Right, show me. In fact, teach me some... What did I miss in the Goring Gambit? Okay, bookity, not great. Leads to losing a pawn. No, is it bishop takes f7? King takes, then you come in with the fork. I bet you. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And white is slightly better. So, there. Anyway, so there was something horrible here. And I took. But I shouldn't have. It's saying I should take on b7. Hitting the rook. When the rook moves, I win the bishop back anyway. I've won myself a pawn. Hey. You have to be sharper than that, Hunster, tonight. Anyway, but it all comes down to this. And this is just a blunder. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, all good fun. Thank you, Chessnut. They've got a couple of new ones coming out. They've got this like really high tech. I don't know what it's called. There's like the Chessnut Pro, which is like a full size match size board that I really want. I'm going to try and get one of those. And then the kind of Evo one, or this, they've got one really smart one as well, but haven't really looked into it at all. I'm liking this, but you know, the pieces are on the small side, but by the same token, you can scan it all pretty easily. But there you go. You know, one lost one. It's a warm-up. I'll take it. Okay, wish me luck. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.